Brody does a show with another friend of ours, Skeery Jones, called the Brooklyn Boys. It's part of Elvis Duran's podcast network out of New York City. Elvis Duran, if you're not aware, very, very famous syndicated morning show around the country. 100-something markets, been around forever. So we had gone and we had lunch, and I had an issue with this service at the restaurant. Gittles, you've been around long enough. You know how these things go. I start to get very, I turn my anger inward, and I start to seethe, and I get angry, but I don't do anything. Because, look, I know how bad the restaurant business can be. I know what servers and what have you, the chefs what they have to go through. I'm not trying to give them a hard time. And I know better than to give them a hard time, because if you're one of those people that complain and make a big deal out of something that's not warranted, they're going to fuck with your food, you know, or they're going to do something. I know that. So I just
next time you come back, they're going to remember you or some shit. Yeah.
Right. So I go, nope, I'm fine. All good. I don't say anything. Well, I'm with a guy who is openly complaining about things in his life and at restaurants, and he'll complain about things and he'll send stuff back and he'll do all of these things. I don't. I just go, nope, fine, leave it alone. And this was bothering him that I was acting this way. So they discussed it on their show. Let's break this down. Here we go.
I want to talk about my friend Erik, the one who hosts the podcast. It's Erik Nagel, Erik with a K, Nagel, our friend.
Nice plug.
Erik, who we've had on.
Thank you very much.
Co-hosted my Walkers and Talkers podcast.
He's a good man. I love Erik.
He is a very good man. He's great. And we went to lunch yesterday. We had a very good lunch, and we had some issues at lunch.
Oh, yeah?
So I thought I would share them with you.
Okay.
Yeah, after we were done, he said, guess what the first 15 minutes of my podcast is going to be? I said, what? He goes, talking about you and this lunch.
Uh-oh.
I said, oh, yeah? Well, guess what? I'm going to talk about you then in my podcast.
All
How
right.
about that?
Oh, wow. Did you guys end in a fight? Like, what happened? I mean,
No. So
you said you had issues.
We handle food situations very differently. We went to a really fun place. I've been there before. I've told you.
What's the place, Erik? I wanted to know.
Forgot to bleep the place out.
Redacted.
Oh, god damn it! I really was curious.
He wants to order something off. There's a menu and there's a specials menu.
Right.
So the thing he wants is a club sandwich on sourdough bread, I think. It was on whole wheat bread. So he says to the waiter.
No, that's not correct at all. So they had some kind of summer club sandwich thing, but they were serving it on, when you get specialty menus, they got to be overly fancy instead of being good. So it was like one of those like
rustic breads,
like the 19 multi-grain kind of bread.
Yeah, the good bread.
That's not good bread. No.
Sure.
So I didn't want that.
It's not
on
like
Dutch
Wonder
Crunch.
Bread, Erik. The diner.
No.
Said it was on Dutch Crunch.
Can I substitute my whole wheat bread for ciabatta? Now, that's a fair question.
I didn't want ciabatta either. I wanted it on rye. I just asked, did they have rye back there? Or sour? I don't know where sourdough.
Ryback just comes running out to serve your food.
Feed me. It's like, all right, we get it. No one likes you. You're an asshole. Yeah, so I just wanted it on rye, basic.
So far, none of the actual events that he's describing happened in the way that he's describing it.
They are. He's just getting small details incorrect.
Well, that's a pretty big detail. I want to know what kind of.
I didn't want the multi-grain bread. I wanted rye for the thing.
Right?
Sure.
The waiter says to him, you know what? That's on the specials menu. I'm not sure. Let me check for you. Not a problem.
That's not what happened. That's incorrect. What was told to me is it's on the because that's the specials menu. He told me no.
Told you no.
He told me no, that it couldn't be changed because that's just how the specials are.
What were they all pre-packed? Like,
that doesn't make any sense.
Unwrap
That's
it.
what Brody gets at one point is like, are these all made at the beginning of the day or something that they're all exclusively that way? The guy said, no, you can't make any changes because it's on the specialty menu. So that's when I got annoyed because I wanted that, but I don't want the multi-tier grain bread on there. So I said, all right, I'm not going to do that.
So Erik says, nah, just forget it then. Forget it. I'll have the cheeseburger. So the guy says, all right, how do you want that cooked? Blah, blah, blah. He orders the cheeseburger. So I said, why didn't you why didn't you get the other thing you wanted? He goes, they're going to have to check on the bread. It's a special. He's going to come back and say they can't do it. It's too much. If he can't just do it, I don't want it. I said, but why wouldn't you just wait to see? Like, you're allowed to get the bread you want. He's just concerned maybe they're pre-made and they're already like wrapped in saran wrap in the morning and they got to, they don't change the bread out. But
it's not 7-Eleven sandwiches, Brody.
Cellophane.
It's a decent restaurant that they're doing this.
So good.
I was gonna say, like, the reason why like they would probably check on something like that is that if it's a special item, they like a lot of the restaurants and stuff work that into their pricing, and he probably didn't know. Oh, what do I do if I go to this? If I switch from a more expensive bread, like it might have like changed. Like he probably just had to check. You know what I mean? Like that's probably why.
That wasn't what initially happened. He told me no, and I went, okay, not like, I don't know if we can. I've had that happen when you try to make a substitution or a change.
Right.
They go, I don't know, but if you give me a moment, I'll go check and see if we can do that. Perfectly fine. And if you can't, that's fine too. Not a problem. When you're saying no, he was just like, he just not even nonchalant about it. He goes, no, it's on the specialty menu. Okay, then I don't want that then. And that was bothering Brody. He goes, why don't you just have him go check? Brody was talking with the guy. Eventually goes, well, you know what? I guess I could check. At that point, I was already semi-seething. So I was just like, nope, not. This is already an issue. I don't. There's other things I'll hoot and holler, to coin a phrase. I'll have some problems, but I will not do it with food.
Now, at this point, are you
and
more
it's because
upset?
You're paranoid, right?
A little bit. At this point, are you more upset that Brody's making it a bigger issue and browbeating this guy to make that check-in with your bread situation, or are you still just upset that you can't get the sandwich substitutions from the get-go?
I am upset because he flat out told me no. When I know the answer is, he's like, I don't know. Let me check to see if we can do that. I have no problems with that. And I understand there's so many other people that go to restaurants, mostly older people, who just cause problems for people in the restaurant industry because they think they deserve everything. And some people are just difficult for whatever reason.
Well, I mean, he could have handled it differently, where he could have said, hey, you know what? Let me go check for you.
That's what I said.
It's the item might be in the back. Let me go check. You're clearly not looking, but the illusion of serving you.
He didn't give a shit.
Helping.
He just goes, no, it's on the special. Now, this guy had no personality. He was just he wasn't like being a dick. He wasn't everything. He just had nothing. You couldn't get a read on the guy. He was talking to the wall. So he says no. So I went, okay, then I don't want that because that bread was a deal breaker. So I just wanted I'll get a cheeseburger or something.
Meal breaker.
And they're already like wrapped in saran wrap in the morning and they got to, they don't change the bread out. But you know what? He's just being careful because he doesn't know. Of course they change the bread out. No, I don't need a headache.
No, they don't.
So first of all, Skeery, how would you handle a waiter saying, no problem?
They didn't. He didn't. He said it after Brody was essentially browbeating the guy that he said, oh yeah, I guess I could check. Either the guy is dumb or the guy is lazy. And either way, now it's already an issue. I don't want him fucking with my food. I don't want the people in the back there messing with my food. So they're
already going to fuck with your food because this situation already happened. They're going to go on the back and be like, I know this guy didn't really cause that much of a problem, but let's still fuck with his food.
That's possible. You've seen Waiting where they're throwing the shit under their armpit.
That's a documentary.
Dropping
I was going to say, I worked at an Applebee's. Trust me, that's 100% what happens.
Right. So,
well, I would let him check. I would let him do his due diligence.
I would have let him check too. If he said, you know what? I don't know. I'll go in the back or I'll go and ask.
If that's how he started this interaction, yes.
Yeah.
Now it's no.
No, it was flat out no. Not even I can go check. Nothing. He just went, no, it's a specialty.
What frustrates me about just to now this situation is that when we went to San Diego, Rob got the bad service, bad restaurant experience with Erik Nagel, and I got the good taco stand experience with Erik Nagel. And it frustrates me because I really want to see something bad go on in your food travels. It was a not fun experience, like not good experience. I still want to experience that.
Okay. One day
we'll figure it out.
Happen. If you come out here for Comic-Con, you'll have plenty of options.
Yeah.
All the restaurants never operate at 100% during Comic-Con.
No, and they have the prefixed menu.
Yep.
Now, if
So it
this
can't
was a
substitute the bread.
if this was a prefixed menu, I would understand that. It's meant
Right.
for a certain occasion. There's no changes or whatever. But again, if it's one of those heavy multi-grain breads, there are people. I used to say it was a made-up disease, but it's not anymore. The thing that people, when they can't have flour and they can't have grains,
Celiac.
yeah, something like that. They make the gluten-free bread. They do the wraps, lettuce wrap or something. So if you got there and you can't have that multi-grain bread, then they'll put it in a lettuce wrap for you or something for dietary concerns. They have to do that. That was not the case here. So and not that I was asking for that. I should have. If I really cared that much for that sandwich, I would have made up an excuse that I needed it, but wasn't. I already shut it down. I go, this is already going to be terrible. I'm done.
Like, all right, I was gonna get up and tell the waiter go check anyway, but he's like, don't do it. I don't.
Oh yeah, that was Brody's like, no, I'll go and check it. I'll go and see if he can do it.
He's like,
Well, he's like going to the kitchen. He's got pole.
Oh, he's just gonna go walk through the floor and find the guy at whatever station he's at to put in the stuff in the computer. I was like, no,
That's even worse.
Don't. But Brody's thing is this: in his life and on his show, he's the champion of people who get swindled or people who get hustled by companies or whatever, so that they're not getting a fair reimbursement for things that they deserved, and then finding out a way to get them more for their time and their effort. Right? So he's like, remember Shame on You with Asa Aaron?
Shame.
Yeah. So that's what Brody does in his own time. Like, nobody company's paying for his investigative journalism. He just goes out there and does these things. He wanted to go do that, and I just went, sit down. Like, I had my teeth gritted. I'm like, sit down. I don't want this. Don't talk to him, because now I'm going to be mad at you if you take this. And he's laughing. He's like, it's like, dude, I've seen your psychosis. I know what Brody goes through in other places, and I was like, you're not the one to be questioning me not wanting to do this right now. But anyway,
conclusions on his own. I'm trying to understand.
He's like, if the guy's got a check, I don't want to go through the drama. Like, if it's not easy, I don't want it.
Yeah, but
like,
he wanted it. He craved
it.
He craved it in the first place. So why don't he just let the guy follow through and do his job?
So I go, listen, tell the guy if they can't switch the bread, then you want the cheeseburger. Then you're done. But let him go check. Nope. Nope, I don't want it. That's the way I am.
Do I go? Do I ever do that?
Is that what you do?
Is that
all the time?
Yeah.
Okay. Am I doing?
You're doing the South Park rabble.
Huff, 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 huff. Piece of
He's taking our bread.
I can't get it the way I want. I wash my hands of it. I'm done.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that he can't get it that way he wants. He doesn't know. It's still inconclusive.
In anticipation, he said, I don't want it. Okay. So then they bring him his food. They bring him his cheeseburger. And Erik is a mustard guy, like you. I'm a ketchup guy.
Love mustard.
And on the table, they've got French's ketchup, which I'm not going near. And, salt and pepper and grated cheese. They got a bunch of condiments.
Salt and pepper,
no mustard. So he says to the waiter, when the waiter comes back, he says, hey, can I get a mustard for my hamburger? No problem. Waiter comes back very quickly, brings him a mustard, walks away. Erik tastes the mustard, and he goes, oh, this is terrible. It's like honey mustard. I didn't ask for honey mustard. I asked for mustard. So I said, all right, well, they have to have regular mustard here. They have to. And he says, well, I don't want it then. I'll just take my burger home. I said, what are you talking about? Ask him for mustard. Nope, they brought me this. I'm not asking for mustard. I go, they have to have mustard. You're not going to eat your burger? That's ridiculous. So a waitress walks by, not our waitress. Excuse me. I said, how many different types of mustard do you have here? Do you have like a spicy mustard, a brown mustard, regular mustard?
Spicy brown mustard is the way to go. I don't like the French's yellow mustard.
Even if they had French's yellow mustard,
I would do French's yellow if that's all they had.
I would take that. I would not prefer it, but I wouldn't say no to it.
Okay, so you're doing the burger at this point, right?
I have the cheeseburger. Yes.
Spicy brown mustard on a cheeseburger doesn't sound good. The same way honey mustard sounds horrible. Like
Spicy
those
brown mustard
They're both
on
good on a burger. I'll eat them both on a burger.
Spicy brown mustard on a burger is great.
See, I would think that would be like a hot dog or some kind of like.
No, you have it on a hot dog. You have it on any kind of wursts, a kielbasa.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But like for me, a hamburger, the yellow mustard serves.
My standard
got a million
hamburger
other things.
Is mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise.
That's what I do. Mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise,
pickles,
red onion,
tomato.
pickle.
Yeah,
I've been doing the pickle mustard lately, where I don't have to add more pickles, but I get the
mustard.
Yeah, and so I get the taste of the pickle and I get the mustard. Yeah.
I got the pickle ketchup.
And then There's a pickle kit. Oh yes, I have
there
that
is.
too. I have that, and I have the pickle hot sauce that I haven't tried.
Oh yeah, I have the pickle ketchup. It's good.
Yeah, I gotta try. I gotta do. Man, I'm so far behind.
We
with
got
the
so much to
consumer
do.
Stuff. I gotta do that.
Well,
Anyway, so
he didn't
I don't
want-
mustard.
He
It's
didn't
not-
want this
not as
mustard.
great.
It's homemade mustard. All their sauces are homemade. He didn't want it.
Why? Probably better.
He didn't like it. He said it tasted like honey. It was sweet. And he's like, tells me to
Okay.
taste it. I go, I don't eat mustard. I hate it. I'm not going near it. Okay. By the way, he makes the mistake. He's had lunch with me like 30 times in the past year and a half. Like we go every couple of weeks. He said, I said, you want to share an appetizer? He says, with a straight face, Skeery. He says to me, you want to share the spinach artichoke dip? I said, what are you on drugs? Get the fuck out of here. I want to eat spinach or artichoke, certainly not both together.
yeah, I do know you, Brody. I've been going to lunch with you many, many times, and of course, I'm always going to ask you if you want the spinach artichoke. He's one of those guys that doesn't eat anything green.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
I would say like that's not even green though. It's like flecks of green in like cream cheese and mayonnaise and like
Yeah.
but it's
Parmesan.
green nonetheless, and he'll explain that down the line here.
Yeah, but Brody, see, spinach artichoke dip is one of the exceptions to the rule I think that you might love.
No.
Spinach
No,
artichoke
no,
dip is
I get-
fantastic.
No,
I don't even like spinach cooked into things, and that is true. That is fantastic.
Oh, okay.
So I asked the waitress. The waitress says, "Yeah, we have 2 different kinds of mustard. We have honey mustard. We have house-made mustard." I said, "Okay, great." So then Erik says to me, "No, don't. I don't need you to ask for the mustard.
He's white knighting me at a restaurant.
He's really your biggest fan right now.
Okay, I won't eat the burger now. Forget it." So a waiter comes back. He goes, "Hey guys, you need anything?"
All right, let me finish with the mustard thing before he continues on. They had this honey mustard thing that didn't taste like a normal honey mustard. Like it was overly sweet, and that was not going to be good for the hamburger.
Right.
The other
Was that the
mustard.
boar's head honey mustard? Because that one's like really like honey.
No, this was some other concoction. The other mustard was a very coarse stone ground mustard with a lot of the mustard seeds in it, which is okay
Like a
for
whole
like
Dijon.
for like a Bavarian pretzel, you know, but
Mhm.
you've ever had some of those German mustards where it's more seed than consistency, like some
Yeah, it's
of
the whole
sauce?
grain Dijon. Yeah.
Yeah. So those were the only 2 options at this place. And I go, I'm not going to eat this. Forget it. So I said, I'll just take it home because I'm already annoyed and my palate is shut down and I'm just not going to bother with it. So that's where we're at here. I didn't want the mustard. I'm taking the
And I'm
burger
staring
home.
at Erik, and Erik's not saying a word. I said, "Yeah, can you bring my friend here your other kind of mustard? Because whatever mustard you brought him, he doesn't like. You have mustard that comes with the pretzels, and you have mustard that comes on something else. Can you just bring the other mustard?" He goes, "Yeah, sure." And he goes, "No,
Hold on.
ignore-
Pause it for a second.
I don't want the mustard."
Yes.
So he asked her to do this, but in a way that still makes it seem like you're bitching about your food.
Correct.
Like, hey, can you get my friend here the mustard? Instead of ending it there, it's like, because whatever was brought is something he doesn't like. He had to add that little extra bit to make it sound like you're just whining about something.
Correct.
And he's trying to help. Oh my God. That's funny.
This would not have been an issue had he just went, all right, Erik's being a mental case. And I
Right.
just sat there. We continued our lunch. We had a great time. We were talking about things and it was fine. Other than that, I just pushed the plate off to the side. And I was like, I'm going to bring it home. I'm not going to bother with this there. It's not like I want to take it back and I don't want to pay for it. I'll pay for it. I'm taking it home. I'm just not eating it here because it doesn't have the things that I want. And there's already been enough of a nuisance in my head that I'm not going to continue with this. Had he not said anything, this all would have been avoided. Had Woody gone straight to the police, this never would have happened.
"I'm good. Can I just get a box of my cheeseburger?" So I said, "What are you doing? I'm trying to help you." He says, "I don't want your help." He says, "That's how you eat. That's how you restaurant." He goes, "If I don't get what I want right away, easy peasy, I'm just done." I'm like, you just give up. He throws his hands up.
Yeah. This guy.
He wants it all easy, and I'm like, sometimes you got to fight for the food.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
That's how you get spit in your food.
And normally, look, with a lot of Brody's psychosis, I agree with a bunch of his views on things and the way he handles things. I'm with you. The food thing is you're not fighting on the food. It's a losing battle. Even if you get what you want, you've lost because they did something in the back.
See, I think that's your psychosis. I think that you think that asking a basic question means that they are going to like, how dare he ask that question in this restaurant? It's quick, men, start hocking up loogies. We got to spit on this guy's burger. And they're like, "Arr, yes,
armpit
Captain."
farting my steak.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think that's a little extreme also, because you can't ask questions. Dude, people ask me the craziest fucking
I've
questions.
asked questions too, and it's like, can I make a substitution, or can I change this, or instead of the fries, can I get a side salad with that thing there? Yeah, we can do that. I have no problem with that. It's when he goes, no, you can't. It's on the menu. Okay, then I don't want it. I'm going to get the other thing. I've already turned off of that because of that guy's attitude. He lost the sale on that item. I just went for a cheeseburger because it was simple. How are you going to fuck that up? How did I know they would? But how do you fuck up a cheeseburger?
So if he would have come with, like, you asked that question, he goes, unfortunately, no, we can't do that. I apologize.
Right.
Would that have made it better for you to make that substitution with something else and not feel that vitriol toward this server, or were you just so dead set on the club sandwich that nothing else was going to be good?
I wasn't.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Eric loves a club sandwich.
It's
It's probably one of Eric's favorite sandwiches. I can think of a handful of times where Erik didn't get the club sandwich when I was out with him. Erik loves the club sandwich.
Yeah, you go to a diner, I get the triple club, the turkey triple club.
Comes with the big toothpick through it. Got that dry ass turkey, some overcooked bacon, some mayonnaise, so that you can like swallow it like a raccoon dipping your meat in waters because you don't produce saliva. Yeah, I know they're great.
An open face club sandwich.
Exactly. Had the guy not given me that very stoic answer, I would have been like, do you think maybe you could check and see? But when he goes, no, like very matter-of-factly, end of sentence, I just went, all right, I'm done. I don't want the thing anymore. Now it's out of spite. Now I'm just going to get a cheeseburger because you can't fuck that up. And
false.
Here we are now. So it wasn't me going crazy in that sense of if I don't get what I want immediately and then it's not easy, I don't want it. I am thinking I am being difficult. I don't want that translating back to the, going back to the kitchen, and they're going to fuck with my food. So I'm very paranoid with that, and I just go, nope, it's fine. It's there. I don't want to cause a problem.
It's like
a restaurant is probably the only place I won't cause a ruckus. I'll do it in other places, but at a restaurant when the food's not going to be right, or if this is going to be too complicated, I don't want to deal with it.
But Erik doesn't want to cause waves anywhere he goes. Like, I mean, like, remember, we've told this story a million times about going to see Knives Out and how Erik missed it at the movies. Like, right. Erik threw his snacks out because he didn't want to ask like 6 people to get up so that he can get to his seat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's a level of insanity that I've never seen before. Like that's crazy.
I left you at the
you left me at the theater
and I went home.
You were right there. I could see you. You were 10 feet away.
There were no other seats. I had to go down to the only available seat, and it was a seat meant for somebody to sit next to somebody in a wheelchair.
I know.
And I'm looking straight up and I go, I can't sit here and watch the movie like this. I got up. I hucked everything into the trash receptacle rather loudly, by the way.
I know, everyone heard it.
And I walked out.
That's what I'm saying. There's always an issue. You know what I need to do? I need to, when I eventually bring back Feast, have you and Brody on, and we'll solve this. Because you could watch me cook. You could watch me spit in your food right away. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Like, every time you make a complaint, you know?
Second mustard, a problem. He's like, now you know me, Skeery. I am the problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're the problem. It's you. I'm the problem.
That's right.
It's me.
That's right. If there's something wrong or different or extra, or I'll ask for it. What's the big deal? They don't mind if you're polite about it.
Right.
So he didn't want to ask somebody. So he took the burger home. He took the cheeseburger home. He didn't eat it.
A very peculiar fellow. I don't know. Why was he acting this way?
I appreciate Skeery being nice because he wanted to say something worse, but he's like, he's very peculiar.
That guy's an asshole.
Here's your question. Based on how I've described my role in this, is that podcast worthy for him on the It's Erik Nagel podcast?
Yes.
No, I think his listeners are going to look at him like he's crazy.
No, they know.
I don't know.
I was going to say, not really.
Now,
I feel like I need to have been there for this situation.
You think so?
I feel like the guy said no that was halfway between the way like Brody heard it and halfway between the way you heard it, and it was probably not
the guy
that
had
bad.
no personality. He just
he's a waiter.
he just goes, no.
Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Jazz hands.
Hey,
Can I get the ride? No.
we're ready for anything.
Because he thought I'm like insane.
Well, there's
Then I
three
said,
sides
can you
to
bring my
every
friend here
story.
later?
There's your side, his side, and then there's the truth somewhere in the middle, right?
No, there's three sides. My side that's truthful, my side that's funny and entertaining, and his side which is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Well, I just want to get into this guy's mind. Like, what's the neurosis of why he doesn't? If he can't,
I don't want my food messed with. I have a history on this show, which look, Tom was helping me go through archives, our pal Tom from Alberta. Go through archives. He made a list for me. I'm going to go back and pull the classics. Gittles, you've been here since day one. Restaurant stories,
before that.
movie theater stories.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the two big ones where there's always been issues.
on the spot a solution to what he or an answer. Why does he just like fold? He's like, I'm all right. That's it. I give up. Like he surrenders too quickly. Like he hasn't. Nobody's gone in the back and checked. This takes about 30 seconds to go out and check. Like what's there's something else at play here that maybe you're not sharing with me. I don't know.
I know. Well, here's another thing. I saved him a lot of money. I'll tell you why. You can't. This I take full responsibility for. This was something dumb on my part because I wasn't paying attention. At the bottom of the check, sometimes it says it does the math for you.
Yes.
It tells you what 15, 18, 20%, 25% is. It does the math. Well, both of our bills were $41. And I'm looking at
Jesus Christ, how good was this hamburger?
He puts down. I said, how much?
It was okay, but everything's expensive.
$41?
Everything's expensive.
How much of a tip did you give? Now, $41, 20% is $8.20, right?
Yes.
So maybe you give $8.50, you give $9, whatever. I see he's giving a $17 tip. I said, dude, what are you? $17 tip
On
goes,
41?
Yeah, he goes, it's 20% roughly.
Oh God.
Or 18%. I go, no, it's not. He goes, look at the bottom.
That's almost 50.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Erik, they split our checks. That's the percentage on the total check. He was giving 18% or 20% on our total check.
Like he was
after
paying
tax.
almost like he was paying your tip.
Right. I go, dude, if you want to tip him for me, that's great. But I said, how can you not do the math? 10% of 41 is $4.10. It couldn't be easier.
Okay, here's why.
My favorite part is that like you're so scared of this server, you still tipped him pretty well.
Right.
Well, that gets sorted out because as he's explaining, I almost tipped the wrong amount. Here's what normally happens when I go out to eat or something. I throw the card down and I'll pay for everybody's food. And then I'll hand the bill off and go, what's a good tip? And then somebody else writes it in for me and I just sign the thing. And that's it. I don't pay attention to it. I should know it. I don't. Math is not a strong suit of mine. So, percentages and moving the decimal point. I've heard several different ways of how to figure out the tip. No, it's like, I'll pay for it. You figure it out and I'll just sign the receipt. So when I'm left to my own device to do this, these things happen. Okay. Again,
You need
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's appropriate. I'm saying it was completely my fault because I don't usually handle that stuff. So.
Yeah. And then you double it, $8.20. How do you not notice it's $17? He goes, I wasn't paying attention. I go, well, you're very welcome.
He got screwed.
I just said, no. So then, you know what he did? He then took the customer copy and then fixed it and handed in the customer copy and looked up the one he fucked
All right,
up.
so at least he knew.
I stopped him. I just texted him to come on with us to explain why he didn't want to change the bread if the guy has to ask.
Yeah. So what do we got? Is your boy? Has he feel like he had a good afternoon with you? Was he made?
No, we had a great time. We sat there for like 4 hours. We had a great time. No, we always have a good lunch. Sometimes we sit there for 5-6 hours talking.
Oh, good.
No, we had a great time.
You just shoot the shit with your boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So it's fine. And it's not like during the whole time I'm still ordering drinks or maybe I'll just order another appetizer. If it's 2 hours in, I'm like, I'll get mozzarella sticks or I'll get something just so that the guy's not losing a station. Make sure we took care of the guy. Everything was fine, what have you. I took the food home. I didn't want to deal with it. The guy was just he wasn't abrasive. He he shut me down from the beginning. He shut me down. He's just like, nope, it's on the specialty menu. Okay, I don't want it then. Like, didn't even say, can I go and check? I've reiterated this a million times. So they tell this story. Then they start taking calls. Okay,
That's never good.
Want to hear from some of their callers about
Love
this?
to.
Okay, here we go.
Guys, it's Des. I'm calling about Brody's lunch debacle from last
By the way,
episode.
this is Des from Connecticut is her name.
Okay.
Guys, it's Des. I'm calling about Brody's lunch debacle from last episode. I 100% agree, Brody. I would have done that as well. I always speak up for other people who are either too afraid to speak up for themselves, or you feel like, hey, they're your friend. You want them to enjoy their meal while you're with them,
Yeah,
right?
Erik.
But I'm not going to lie, your friend to me is a little extra, okay?
No, a lot extra.
At least you admit it.
I don't hide it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Eric doesn't hide it.
I've never backpedaled from things that I know that I do, or things that I believe in, or things that it needs to be such. I'll tell you flat out that I am not going to do this.
Eric has no guilty pleasures. He just has pleasures.
Yeah.
He just loves it.
Oh, we're all going to go to this. Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to go home. I'm sorry. You guys have a good time. I'm not going to rain on your parade, but I am not going to that concert. I am not going to this thing here. I will see you another time. That's it. I bow out. I don't cause any problems. There's been times where if I felt that maybe something I wanted to do or not to do was going to be a bit of a hindrance or an inconvenience on people, I paid for things without them knowing. They found out later. Why did you pay for that? Because I felt like I was going to ruin your good time or whatever. So that was the least I could do, is just let me pick up the bill and you guys enjoy your night and do whatever you want to do. I have no problem with that.
Do you think maybe you're too hyper focused on that to where you're not actually having, like, that's not really happening around you, that you are perceiving that incidents to be like,
I try
I'm
to
causing an
be
issue?
very mindful and very aware of my surroundings and me in that situation. I don't want to cause problems. I want to cut things off before it happens. I can see where this could lead to. I'm going to destroy that timeline right now. I'm going to prune it, and it's like, this will not happen. It's done.
I just like every time Eric goes to a diner, it's like Final Destination for him. Like he's just like picturing like all this stuff happening in the back. It's just not happening.
Anyway, let's get back to Des here, right?
Thinking that he's going to now bag his stuff to go while you're with them, right?
Erik.
But I'm not going to lie, your friend to me is a little extra, okay? Little extra by thinking that he's going to now bag his stuff to go because he's upset about, asking for a condiment. Does he have a fucking podcast? I'm about to go over that podcast.
Hey, by the way, Des, Erik does have a podcast. It's called It's Erik Nagel Podcast. N-A-G-E-L.
It's on iHeart. Yeah.
So feel free. At some point, I think he's going to talk about it on his podcast. So let him have it.
Is he going to find? Oh,
Hi, Des. Welcome.
He said
Bring it on, Des.
Which I think
Wow.
is this week.
Oh, perfect.
There we go. Hi, Des. If you catch, she's not here in the live room, but I'm sure she'll see it at some point. Thank you for your call, Des, and your concern. You're not wrong. I am a bit extra, but hopefully the previous portions of this segment here that you've heard explains where I'm coming from and why I'm acting that way. If not, none on me. This is
I feel like this is what Eric needs to say to the waiter anytime he has to ask a question, right? It's just like
I should walk in with one of those cards identifying me in the situation and
Yes.
hand it to them before this whole thing goes down.
Or just say,
seeing
yeah,
eye
just-
dog, wrong card.
You need a heads up of where you're going to be and do your research. So like you're going to be the call ahead guy and be like, hey, look, if I get this particular menu item, can I make substitutions? And once you get that confirmation, then you order it. So there's no interaction when you're there physically. Like I've had people like study a menu to see like, oh, we're getting a group together. Let's see what I'm going to get, or, if you're going to Cheesecake Factory, you literally have to study.
And that's
the
really
menu,
bad
but-
too, because if you do that and then you get there and they're like, we're all out. You're like,
I did that
for a week.
I did that with Salt and Straw when they first opened up here in Arizona back in July. And I was so hopped up on just wanting this one particular thing, which I got to try out in San Diego with Erik, but I was so dead set on it. And when I got in there and they didn't have it, I was like Erik. I was just ready to stand in the corner and be upset.
When you're looking forward to something and it's like, you
yeah.
have it set on and then they don't have it, and you're like, what? How?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I felt bad for Jordan. I saw him getting dejected. And I go,
Bad.
it sucks, but there's so many other weird flavors that they were having. Let's just try all the weird stuff. And
We did.
Yeah.
It was good.
I wasn't looking forward to this sandwich going into the thing. I saw it on the menu. Yours was for days. We were talking about it. So you had a bit of more of a build up and devastated situation here than what mine actually was. This is another one of their callers. This one is Vinny from Brooklyn.
Ooh.
Not many Vinnies in Brooklyn. I think he spells it with an IE.
Vinny from Brooklyn here, guys. Brody, I gotta say, your buddy over there, Erik, sounds like a nice guy, but sounds really strange. I wouldn't be able to put up with that.
Right on both points.
Thank you.
Does this guy have a sandwich shop where he sells gabagoo?
I was gonna say it's gabagoo.
Did you see our video with that guy?
No, I've not. No.
Oh my God! That was just sight unseen. You brought that guy up because we did a whole thing about that particular. guy.
I hate all those those incidents.
That was the whole point of the video. It was the over exaggerated accent.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Hey, we're Italian. Dude, I fucking get it. I'm handicapped too. Like,
Yeah, stop performing. Just give me my sandwich.
To Vinny.
I want a sandwich, no
Sounds like a nice
shtick.
guy, but sounds really strange. I wouldn't be able to put up with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
What issues were there? You're asking for what you want. You're going, you're paying for something, you're buying it.
Right.
I agree with you 100%, bro.
Thank you.
You're usually
by the
the
way-
problem, but not this time.
Thank you, Vinny. I am usually the problem.
All right. I'm glad that has been clarified. That Brody usually is the problem. Because now we went through my thing, we explained it, and this was from Brody's point of view, and we made our comments and our clarifications. I am now going to turn the spotlight on my pal David Brody
Oh shit!
and show you a clip of him at a restaurant having an issue.
Damn plot twist.
Wow,
This
Erik,
coming.
so here's the thing. I love how
He got
Brody tells the story, and he's just like, "Yeah, this is what happened." Like, we don't really have proof. Eric's just like, "Here is documentation of everything Brody has done."
Here's the meeting minutes, and I've got video proof.
Yeah, I also have the transcript because I upgraded on the subscription.
I will go down swinging.
Thanks,
on a
StreamYards.
thing. Yeah. All right. So this is a story of Brody in a restaurant having an issue with what he ordered.
I
Gotcha.
ordered this dish. It was chicken breasts in a Cajun sauce with corn, mashed potatoes, all the things I eat. And then I see in the picture on the menu, there's green flakes of something all over the corn. So I say to the waitress, I had a question. The green flakes on top of the corn, is that parsley? Is that diced up something in the corn, or is it thrown on top for garnish? She says, oh, no, that's just garnish for the color. I said, well, I know the plate is brown and beige and white and yellow, and it needs color. I understand for presentation. But I would really like to, if you could hold the parsley. I don't like green food. If you could hold the parsley, that'd be great. No, she said, absolutely. She says, yeah, we won't put the parsley on. Not a problem. So the food comes. My dish arrived with no parsley on top.
Great.
Except
cilantro.
somebody thought, well, it still needs color. So they threw green fucking scallions all over my plate.
That's funny.
Okay. This still
So
goes
they
on.
thought let's take the one thing off. It's not the color bothering him. It was this particular thing, but we still got to zhuzh it up a little bit.
Yes, as
my
he
God.
proclaimed, he does not eat green food. So they took the one food off per his request and then added something else back on, which I guess I would be a little annoyed too with that. I would understand that, but how he handles it is a bit different than how I would handle it.
Into the mashed potato, into the corn.
So it's
into the
everywhere.
Cajun sauce. I had to pick green onions out because everybody else wanted to eat, and I don't want to have them remake my food while I waited for my friends to eat. And
Then they'll spit in it.
Oh, so you didn't want to cause a problem for everyone else you were dining with. So you just like, you know what? I'll just put up with this. I'll do it here. I don't want to make any changes. I'm not going to send it back. I didn't go and ask. I should have got up and went and said, hey, excuse me, could you remake his plate? He didn't want any kind of green food. I know you thought you were being considerate to, needed some kind of coloring for the plate. No, he's not having it. Does that sound familiar, Brody?
See, the difference is that he is cognizant of the people around him, and so he doesn't want to push it further. You, in your situation, you were just mad you got told no. So it wasn't that you were inconveniencing Brody. You just didn't want someone spitting in your food.
I wasn't inconveniencing Brody. Had Brody just left it alone, none of this would have happened.
Well, I agree.
Brody decided to white knight my food service and jumped into this thing here, and that's where it all
Well, no, that's the
spiraled out of
thing.
control.
Brody's the wrong person to be eating lunch with in these situations because he has got a history of constantly trying this stuff. You knew that wasn't going to be let go.
right.
Like,
I will say from a food standpoint kind of view, like it's pretty ballsy to be like, yeah, we'll just throw green onions on there. Like,
yeah, I mean,
we
if
don't know.
someone-
Like, they could have a food allergy. Let's just throw it on top there without asking. Like, that's kind of crazy.
yeah,
you
to
know?
say, can you remove an item? It's not remove and substitute it with whatever you feel like. It's remove the item.
yeah.
That is kind of ballsy.
So it continues.
Grand Lux Cafe.
Now everything tastes like onions because parsley at least is just color. It doesn't have a taste really.
Right.
Scallions
So
are
I
pretty.
use my bread, my appetizer plate for mountain O scallions.
Can't you put your big boy pants on when you see it arrive and just be like, I'm just going to ignore it. It's not changing the flavor of anything I'm eating right
I
now.
don't want leaves in my food.
It's not leaves. They're little specks.
No, they're not. No, they were
Is
brand. They were
leaves.
like little. They looked like little broccoli heads. They weren't like specks of parsley. It was sprigs. I don't want sprigs on my food. I want corn.
You don't
I
have to
want
eat
corn.
it.
Then how do I get it off my corn, genius? I got to pick it off, right? So rather than pick it off in front of my friends, I was like, "Can you not throw the parsley on last?" They're
David
like, "Yeah,
Brody,
we won't put the parsley on."
If you were blind and you were eating corn
You know what I would do
with
All right,
parsley
you
on
know-
it, would you know the difference? It's
I
not
would.
even a texture thing. It's not even like
It would be texture. I would notice.
don't know
You
the
taste
difference
it.
in your
Parsley
mouth.
does have a flavor.
Doesn't it taste like minty or something?
It's got like an earthy flavor to it. Like, it definitely has flavor. Like, you know.
All right, continuing.
Between an ear of a kernel of corn and a branch. You don't feel the difference in your tongue between corn and I'm eating feathers.
come
What
on,
are you-
you're exaggerating.
How do you not?
Is it not like texture or is it just taste?
What are you-
It's green food.
Yeah, but again, so the situation is you're blind. At this point, now he's complaining about texture, not color.
It's very.
There's no
far-fetched.
situation in
Yes.
which he was happy with what's been on
Yeah,
this corn.
no.
He wasn't
You-
winning.
No, he wasn't. You're right. That's exact. He's like, I'll just start throwing everything at the wall and see if something sticks to defend my point.
Come
What
on,
are you-
you're exaggerating.
How do you not? You can't tell the difference between corn
Corn,
and fucking parsley.
I can't know, but corn with parsley on it.
Well, why are you turning this around on me and making me the parsley bandit?
You
and I'm
are
the
though,
bad guy.
but you are because it's
Focus on the scallion king in the kitchen.
you are a man child. You're acting like an immature brat of a child.
How
Throwing
am
a,
I-
Good for you,
throwing a,
Skeery.
temper, a tantrum.
I am brat. I am brat. I'll
Are
give you
you
that.
having a brat summer?
I'm having a big time brat summer.
Okay, because
Brody brat.
I'm more of a demure guy. Do
Oh,
you ever
you
zoom
lost
out
me.
and look at yourself and be like, why am I such a fucking prick? Like, why am I so picky
I
about
could not
everything?
have been more
At least he's owning up to it, though.
No, he's not.
Well, he said he was a fucking prick.
Well, but he's not owning up to the fact that.
Oh no, he's still gonna get his way.
But you see what I'm talking about? His nonsense, right? He's going to make sure that it's right and it's correct and everything, and that's fine. I will not do that in a food setting.
See,
At
in this
all.
situation, he's already made peace with the fact that as long as it's not green, I don't care. So if someone spits in his food, as long as it's not parsley or onions, he would still eat it.
Apparently,
He's
so.
taking that risk.
right.
Good for
Yeah,
him.
but if he hands that back and said, "Look, I said no parsley, and you gave me no parsley, but then you threw green onions all over this thing here," they got to go remake the potatoes or something. That's now you're the problem.
It's just the burger boy and the
But-
parsley king.
But he does have a point because they just willingly added that to his meal.
That's the problem. That is
That's
an
an
issue.
issue. That's definitely an issue.
So I'm with you on that. Had that not been the case, then yes, he's a fucking maniac with all of this.
Now, also though, if it was green onion and it wasn't cooked in the food, it was just on top, you can remove it and not really get a lot of that flavor.
Mhm.
But also,
But
like
still.
I feel like when it's raw like that, like
It's
the
strong,
flavor
it's
is
pungent.
actually stronger. Like it's a little more potent. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like when it's cooked down, like the flavor kind of dissipates into whatever like you're cooking it with. But like on top like that, it could be pretty strong.
Yeah, like I'm not a big jalapeno fan, but if it's in like it's in salsa, if it's in nachos, if it's in whatever, where it's not the chunks, I don't care. It's fine. I'll eat it because it's there. But I'm not if it's garnished on top. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, I'll taste the black olive if it accidentally got on my food. Like someone put a black olive on my pizza while making it and took it off. I'll taste it.
Oh, I
or
don't
if
want
they
olives anywhere on my
no,
pizza.
thank you. Nope. No,
Not even
Eric
green
eats them.
olives.
No olives. I don't
Olives
want.
gross.
I
Fair
don't want
point.
all of that.
Fair point.
Skeery, there is absolutely some food you won't eat. What is it?
Watermelon. I hate watermelon.
What? Who hates
That's so
watermelon?
random.
It's fruit.
I
Wow,
hate
what a
it.
piece of shit.
That's a real thing. It's got
It's
texture,
watermelon.
watery. It's
How do you eat watermelon?
Watery.
I don't like it. I don't like watermelon. I
Who
don't eat
doesn't
watermelon.
eat watermelon? It melts in your mouth.
You
It's
can't compare
America's
water.
picnic fruit.
Right. Okay, well, you're criticizing me now on that, but I'm
Why
I'm
can't you
talking
just
about
suck it up and have some watermelon? Why
Two-
can't you put ketchup on hot dogs?
two completely different things. Because
Why can't you?
Was he a
boil
no
it?
ketchup on hot dogs guy?
Scary, yeah.
Ugh, get over it. Put shit on your stuff and make you happy.
No, that's not uncommon in like
No, I know.
Chicago.
Right?
in-
And those people are
in New York
stupid.
or
Enjoy
whatever.
shit.
I do the ketchup and mustard. I like them both.
Why not?
I do ketchup, mustard,
Pickle, a
and
little
sauerkraut.
relish. Oh yeah.
is a fruit, and it's a thing. It's actually a real thing with real
Oh,
flavor.
parsley.
Parsley
is a twig.
isn't.
It's a branch. It's a twig. I don't want to eat
Parsley's
that shit.
nothing. I think there's something a little bit more going on here with your psychology, the way you grew up. Something happened
Now
to
you're
you.
blaming my parents.
Something happened
You're
as a
blaming
kid.
my parents.
Nope. Something maybe happened to you at school. Something was going on. Why?
My uncle was run over by a scallion truck.
Why do you want to eat parsley? Green thing.
It's like the scene from Back to the Future.
I was just gonna say it's fucking Back to the Future.
the scallion truck backs into his convertible. He's got it coming out of his
Scallions everywhere.
mouth. It's in his eyes.
It's green. See, you even refer to it as I don't want anything green in my food.
You know what?
That's a color.
I eat snow peas. And I eat edamame, and I eat cucumbers. There are a couple of green things I eat. And
See, that's new to me because I didn't know that.
I have someone that I know that is the same way. Won't eat vegetables. Won't touch vegetables.
I don't like edamame at all.
I like edamame.
But like if you get certain Asian food, they have snow peas in them.
Yeah,
I don't mind that. It's like I don't like peas at all. If like on Thanksgiving, if people make like those peas with like the little bell onions in there, or they make like a cheese peas kind of thing. I don't like peas at all. I don't want peas in anything. But in some Asian food, they already have all their vegetables mixed together with the snow peas in there. I'll eat that. I don't like edamame. And I know everyone suddenly does in the last 20 years, loves edamame. Because you go to a place that has edamame, they got to get an edamame. Everybody's fucking popping it into their mouth and then leaving their disgusting pea pods in a bowl in the center of the table, which is gross.
I just toss them at my children.
Yeah, I don't want your fucking spit shells on the table. Like, keep them to yourself.
Yeah.
Peppers are chopped up in my Mexican food small enough. I don't care. I don't like grass in my food. I don't like broccoli. That's a tree.
Ugh.
I don't want that.
What?
Bush.
Oh, I
don't
love
want that.
broccoli.
Love broccoli.
Blah.
No. Okay.
Yeah. See, even Skeery's like, I've had enough of this. This is well, that was my lunch with Brody.